Tonya Hofmann's fabulous. Tonya Hofmann's fabulous. Tonya Hofmann's fabulous, fabulous TV show. Tonya.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show today. Oh my gosh, I have a special guest for you today, Ms. Norma Hollis. She's going to be on in just a minute. She won the National Collaborator of the Year last year at our Public Speakers Conference, and we'll be talking a little bit about her being the MC, and she's going to be on stage, and she's going to wow everybody as you're about to be wowed for yourself. So I'm glad that you're here, Norma. Hi.
Hi, Tonya. You are so fabulous. Thank you.
So I wanted to give y'all a little tip for today, like I always do. And today I want to talk a little bit about why you should be a speaker, right? Norma used to own a speakers bureau. I own the Public Speakers Association. It's not just about the connections within, but how are you connecting without, right? How are you pushing out your information so you can go out and change lives? That's our motto, is change the world from the front of the room. Because you, I don't care who you are listening, you have the ability to really change lives. And the only way that you can do that is by opening up your mouth. Because if you keep yourselves all closed up, then how can you change someone's life? You've got information, no matter how mundane you think it is, because you've been doing it forever, somebody needs to know how to do it. It could be learning how to do Twitter. It could be how to fix a motorcycle. It could be how to raise finches. I don't care what it is. There is somebody out there that is dying for that information. They're waiting for you. So it's up to you to get off your seat and to do something about it. And guess what? You can make money at it too, which is a bonus. Every time I go to an event and I'm speaking and I'm like, wow, I'm having so much fun. I'm giving so much value to the world and I'm making a great living at it. And that's, to me, what really it's all about, is kind of that yin and yang. It's kind of that equalization, the balance of life. So that's why I wanted to bring in Norma today. So I have known Norma for a while. And from the moment I talked to her on the phone to the moment I got to meet her in person and give her a hug, it's just been like, I am so honored. You know, you meet some people and you're like, oh my gosh, this person is so fabulous. And Norma is one of those people. So Norma, say hello to the world.
Hello, world, and whoa, Tonya, you built me up. I gotta stand into all that you've said. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. You're just so fabulous. And
well, it's all true, and everyone's about to hear it. So tell us a little bit, Norma, about who you are and what you've done.
Well, I'm absolutely committed to helping people get their message out. I think everyone was born with a message to share, and we just all get stuck in the life and what life requires of us and what people say we're supposed to do. And because we get fall into the need for money so much, we sometimes lose track of that great thing we came here to do. And speaking is a fabulous way to get that out. I learned that myself early on. I started my career in early childhood, directing Head Start programs. And that gave me a great chance to understand human beings and human nature and how we grow. Then my second career was owning my speakers bureau. And I had to see what happens in the gap between the preschool years and when we become adults, and how the gifts and talents and the great freedom we had to be ourselves as children kind of flip-flop by the time we got to be adults and we're trying to imitate somebody else. I met so many speakers who say, I want to be just like, and you can put any name in the blank that you want. And then they would try to speak like that person, and it never works. So that's where I began to focus a lot on authenticity and helping people to be more authentic and be the person that they were born to be. And so what I do now is coach speakers and certify and license speakers to develop programs and to deliver programs that represent who they are authentically. And I like to help them find their path in the speaking industry.
That is fantastic. And I know you do all of that, you know, and I think that's I was shocked when I first started really kind of getting out there and speaking. And I went to an event. And I was telling people, you got to be who you are. You've got to, become a speaker. And, went on and on. And a lady came up afterwards. She goes, "You're so amazing. I want to be just like you." A week later, she sent me all these pictures. She went out and bought my outfit.
I bet, did she do her hair like yours too, or try to?
She had her hair shorter, but she got as close to me as she could possibly. I'm like, I think you missed the point.
Because authenticity, every one of us is different. And that's what's so beautiful. When I meet speakers, when I had my bureau, what I learned is that 99% of the speakers were talking about the same thing, which is essentially how to have a better life, being a better person, call it what you want. But we all come at it differently based on our own background, based on what our passion, based on our experience, based on our expertise. So everybody, it seems, wants to help the world be a better place. We want to change the world from the front of the room. But what the challenge is sometimes is that we don't always find where we fit in the very best place. We tend to imitate what we've seen and not realize that there's multiple ways to express yourself as a speaker.
And to really kind of own who you are. And I know for myself, I had to adjust for that. I've had to grow myself to the point where I was comfortable being me.
Yeah.
I was trying to be a professional speaker and I had to get out the training and do all these things. And then as soon as I went, oh, that's too much. I'm a little goofy. I'm a little funny. I'm a little, who I am. My humor is a little bit off. I mean, it's just who I am. So as soon as I owned who that is, it just started exploding, because then I came across as who I really am instead of trying to make people believe I was someone else.
Well, that's the only way it's going to work right. The reason that people select you or select any speaker is because of the uniqueness that they bring to the table. Nobody wants a puppet. We want to know what made your life different, what made your life interesting, what were your challenges. And the other thing about speaking, for those who feel like I'm not ready yet, or I haven't fixed my challenges, or I'm still going through stuff, speaking is one of the most fabulous ways of healing. I went through so much trauma as a child. I had pain, tremendous pain for the age of 8 and 9 from ear infections that were just a horrible, horrible situation. And it was something I forgot about after years. It was so painful. I just kind of put it out of my mind altogether. But as I started speaking, as I got older, and as I got out into the field and began to speak more and more, next thing I knew, my gosh, I felt better about myself. I was healing. It was just a totally different situation. So I encourage speaking big time for anyone who's trying to heal from something, trying to recover from a childhood stuff, trying to move on. You can do it through speaking.
Nice. And for me too, at the very first time that I talked about my childhood, because I've gone through horrific things, and I didn't think, why would anybody want to know that stuff? And I was at a women's group, and a lady came up and she's like, "Oh, Tonya, of course you're successful. Oh, you just had it so easy." I'm like, what?
What you see is not what it's been, okay?
Exactly. And so when I spoke my truth and spoke what had happened, people were just, their mouths were open. They were dropped, right? And they were like, I had no idea. And then people suddenly could relate to me. They were like, oh my gosh, you've gone through things worse than I have, and then you can pull through it. And so I realized it was very hard for me to talk about those things. Now it's very easy because I've done it so much. But at that time, it was really a healing process for myself too.
Yes, yeah. It's big time. People look at you and they make assumptions. That's what we call the outer voice of my authenticity piece. They make assumptions by how you come across and how you look. And if you're able to cover it, you speak eloquently, you stand and you're pretty, or your hair is pretty, or whatever, they just think that's totally you. But they don't realize that the true you is what's going on the inside that nobody can see. And some disabilities are not obvious. They're just situations, neurosis, anxieties. We all have some of that, and that gets in our way as speakers. But people want to hear about that. They want to know, because just by your story, not only are you healing, you're healing people in your audience as well.
I took a picture. At the time, I was horrified, but it was in 2005, the Leander Chamber of Commerce, the holiday gala, right? And they had the headshot person, and I took my picture. It was awful. You know, I looked so introverted because I was at the time.
Right,
You know,
right.
I was in brown. You know, everything was very, you know, one color. Hair was very flat and with a little bit of a wave. I mean, it was awful. Bless you. And,
Thank you.
you know, I love that picture now because it shows the transformation. You know, I love showing people that I have transformed myself, and it hasn't always been this.
And it's hard to teach transformation if you're not transforming yourself, because you
Right.
can't stay in the same place. So as a speaker, you want to see yourself transform. You want to see the change as you're doing, so you can talk about the changes that you made. Because a lot of what we talk about as speakers is how we went through the process. This is what I did to go from here to here. And so because I did it and it worked for me, maybe it'll work for you too. Let me tell you my secrets. That's part of exactly what speakers do.
Exactly. And what's really the transformation, you know, you look at video. I don't know what you were like the first time you did a video, but I was like, hello, I'm Tonya Hofmann. Thank you for showing up today. I mean, it was awful. I mean, really, really bad. And I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to get my videographer to find that clip because it'd be like a perfect before and after.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, mine was all about, okay. I'm taking approval. Well, is this right? Is this good? And I mean, I said, my gosh, how many times did I say okay? Let me just cut that out. It's really okay, Norma. You can just go straight on with it. So.
Into rhythm, you know, I'll be like, right?
Yeah, okay.
And I even did this little smacking noise, and my husband's like, why are you smacking? I'm like, I don't smack. And I watched the video. I'm like,
Oh, I smack.
I don't know. Why do I smack? I have no idea.
Yeah, those habits we picked up and we don't always see ourselves. So that's why speakers sometimes are afraid and feel fearful about being in front of people because they're looking at me. Well, yeah, they are. But if you look at yourself first, you can self-correct on those things you feel uncomfortable with. That's part of the secret of being a great speaker, to videotape yourself and watch yourself, then you can self-correct.
Well, and you also have to realize that most people, most of the time when you're speaking, nobody cares,
That's
right?
true.
They don't really care that much. Now, if it gets a little annoying where, you know, I'm constantly saying right, yes, you know, or if there's too many ums. But if you say one don't freak out. It is really okay.
There are some trainers who will have you feel very insecure and nervous because you're not being perfect. But I love that one of your mottos is only imperfect people, because perfection is not expected from speakers. Realness, authenticity is expected from speakers, not perfection.
I've seen some perfect speakers that gave perfect presentations, and nobody came up and talked to them afterwards.
Just too perfect.
To me, a professional speaker is someone that the whole audience, or 80% of the audience, wants to know more from. They want to, they gravitate to you because you're relatable and they can connect with you, and they feel like they can connect with you.
And a part of that is what I like to tell speakers is to connect their message to their energy. Because when new speakers especially think about speaking, they think about two ways of speaking. Either a keynote, which is, a lot of rah-rah in front of a large crowd is what they think of, or they think of seminars, which is a smaller crowd and more detailed. But there's so many other ways. Like you mentioned, I'm going to be MC for your event coming up. I was MC this past weekend for an event that I do every year. And that's a totally different way of speaking. I was still able to put in my message of authenticity in a very effective and respectable way, but it still enabled me to share a message in a different way while still speaking and while getting compensated for what I was doing. So there's more than just one way or two ways of speaking. There are as many ways as you can be creative to think about.
Oh yeah, and especially in the world of the internet, it's like a bonanza of all kinds of opportunities to get your message out there and to make money at it. That's kind of correlates, but you've got to get yourself out there. And I know a lot of people, they hide themselves, Oh, I went to my office today and nothing happened. Well, why is that? So the most of it is about getting your message out there. If no one's ever heard of you and no one's ever heard your message, they're not booking you. They're not having on the radio show. You're not having you anywhere,
Right. And then benefiting from it is many things. And sometimes maybe you don't get paid, but you make great connections. You do great networking. You're able to find people who then call you later. You'd be surprised. I had a call this morning from a lady who took one of my programs probably 10 years ago, and she's looking for a speech coach. She said, I've talked to a lot of people, but Norma, I know you. So you never know when one connection that you make might years down the road, provided you play the game right, end up being a client, and a well-paying client, and a long-term client. So
oh yeah, it's all timing, right?
Go ahead.
You know, and for even like I sent out an email the other day, Patty Farmer is coming into town. We're like, let's do a little pre-op-tude get together. Shot out an email in Austin, and had all these people show up, and I had these two guys. I haven't seen them since 2005 and 2006.
Wow.
They have been on my email list that entire time, and just something about that event, they're like, I'm gonna come. It's just timing, it's when they're ready, and that's the hardest thing for most people to get. It's it's not all about you.
It's not all about you. Yes, it is to start, because you got to get you right before you can get out there. But to really get the business, it has to be about other people. You have to be.
Exactly. And I am so thrilled that you're going to be our MC, but even more important than that, you're going to give us some real training at the Public Speakers Conference, June 14th through the 17th, San Antonio, Texas.
Yes, I am. I'm looking forward to it. I thoroughly enjoyed the conference you had last year, and I'm looking forward to the next conference. And I love, love, love being MC. So that's great. And I love sharing my message with speakers, because I've been in the industry for 20 years now, and I've learned an awful lot. And I just love sharing it, because I find speakers get caught up in so many of the traps that are out there that you don't know about, that will take you and suck you in and take all the money that you have to invest in your speaking. And maybe because you didn't do things in the right order, you've done some right stuff, yes, but it might not have been the time for it. You met a good speaker who had a good event, and you went and you invested, and maybe you didn't realize that it wasn't just time for that investment yet. Not that it was a bad investment, but the timing is so important. Things have to be done in a certain order. Everything has its game. So you have to know what the game is to really play the game well. That happened to me, because when I started my bureau, I was in the right industry, but the wrong place in the industry. Because the bureau requires so much marketing, and the marketing is not my strength. My strength is helping others to be themselves, and helping others to speak and learn the industry, and teaching, training, and coaching, which is not exactly what a bureau owner does. And so the same thing with speaking. Sometimes you're in the right category of presentation, but you're not presenting in the way that's most comfortable and natural for you and your energy and your message. So making all those alignments are really, really important to your success as a speaker.
Yeah, I love that. And after last year's event, we had always asked people, who would they like to see again? And people were like, Norma, she was amazing. I'm like, okay, I get it. I'll ask Norma to come back.
Well, I didn't know all that. That's good to know, and I'm thankful for that. So,
I try to let people know. Yeah, I always see not just who people resonate with, but who are they excited about. Because for me, that means that not only were you giving value, but you were actually teaching them something. And they felt like they've got real to-do list type of things from that presentation.
Yeah. Well, there are some speakers who really believe that they won't give you anything unless you pay for it. And I'm just not like that. I'm not wired that way. I'm wired as a helper to help other people get their messages out. And if I'm going to be so tight that I'm going to require a dime from you every time I open my mouth, then I'm blocking my own blessings. I'm blocking my ability to fulfill my reason for being here. So I'm always willing to share something, not everything. So it's not about that, but it is about helping you, particularly if you are genuinely attempting to share something that you're very passionate about. I believe passion comes from part of our purpose. And if you're purposeful, then I'm going to share my passion, which is helping you to the point that you can see the value of actually helping me help you in a more professional way. That's
amazing. And, when I started looking at who did I want to have as our MCs, for this year, I really wanted kind of two different personalities. And you have such that lovely, calm kind of a personality. And then I have Candy Barone that's like, I'm like, either this is going to be a great combo or I don't know. This should be fantastic. And I'm really excited. There's a lady I was talking to. She's like, Norma Hollis is going to be there. I'm like, yeah. So, don't wait, come and enjoy. And what I love people like Norma is it's not just about being on stage and then leaving. She's there, you get to talk to her, build a relationship with her, actually get to know her. And that's the way I've always been. I'm like, I'm not, flying in and out. How can I connect with people and really get to know them?
Well, I put this on my calendar as soon as you announced the date. So I made sure that I had that window available. Because, speakers are such a creative, phenomenal group of people. I learned so much in the years that I ran my bureau because I met so many speakers that I had to listen to and hear their message. And what was so interesting is that messages that I would receive from speakers would be at the time that I needed to hear what it was that they had to share. It was phenomenal. It was between their information and their love that helped me to heal from the stuff that I mentioned that I went through as a child. And that was just because of speaking. So I thoroughly recommend it for anybody that's even remotely considering speaking, even in the smallest amount. It's going to help you in ways you can't even envision.
Yeah, and when I look at going to a conference, who's going to be there and how is those attendees, not even just the stage and what you're be training on and everything, but who are the attendees coming? And that's a big thing that I think a lot of people don't really take into account. They always look at who the stage speakers are, what are they going to get learning, what are they learning from? But in this environment, they're all speakers. They're all people who want to change lives and change the world. These are amazing people that you get to actually get to know. It's not about just coming in, sitting down and taking notes. It's about reaching out and networking.
And being engaging yourself in the environment. It's a great environment. I've met so many people at your event, Tonya, that it was just phenomenal. As a matter of fact, when I joined your organization, I had just stepped back into the professional. I had lost some family members. It's just a whole bunch of stuff I had to heal from my childhood and from the deaths and just stuff like that. And I made a conscious effort. I said I wanted to join 2 or 3 groups, and I wanted to be very particular about which ones they were. And PSA was one of the first ones that I joined, and I have not regretted it, not one moment. It has opened doors for me. I have gotten clients. I've grown myself. I've learned the value that I brought even when I was in the doldrums of what I was going through. I was still bringing value, didn't even realize it. So I was changing the world from the front of the room or from my bedroom in some cases because I ended up having some illnesses at that point as well. But your organization has really been a phenomenal one to assist me to grow even more, and I thank you.
Well, we have loved you being involved. I mean, and Norma is actually a partnering director for the association. And, when you have people that step out and she's always who she is, and she's always someone with integrity, those are the kind of people that I like to work around. People that are just nice and givers and always has not just a yes person. She thinks through things, and when something doesn't work, she tells you.
That one didn't work. Let's knock that one out. Don't go this path, okay? This path is definitely a no-no.
Because sometimes you need somebody to just go, no, I don't think so. I mean, I love that instead of just people that are like, oh, okay, and
yes, ma'am, yes.
It's just not my personality anyways. So Norma, I know you have an amazing free offer that you want to offer people.
Yes, well, my work with authenticity took me 30 years of studying human nature from personal, professional, and spiritual perspectives. And I really love helping speakers connect with their authentic self, because when you can be authentic about who you are, then you can be authentic on stage, you can be authentic about your message. It just makes you a stronger speaker, a stronger messenger, and a stronger person. So I've developed an assessment that helps you to examine how authentic you're living your life. And you can take the assessment, and if you are interested in learning more about your results and how to grow yourself, then you have an opportunity to have a complimentary 30-minute one-on-one coaching session with one of my authenticity coaches that I've trained. So it's a 2-part free gift. Part 1 is to take the assessment and to learn your score and learn about your own authenticity. You'll be examining yourself in what I call the 9 dimensions of authenticity, 9 parts of yourself. In the process, you'll gain some self-knowledge and self-awareness of things that maybe you had not even thought about before. And then you get one score when you get your results, but my team and I see 16 different scores. So they can see you from a different perspective and give you some feedback. As a speaker, what I've learned is you need two things. Not only do you need to be great as a speaker and know the business, you also need to be authentic. You need to know yourself. Because if you don't know yourself, you're going to falter on stage in one way or another. When I had my bureau, I used to say that the best speakers were the ones who really felt good about themselves, and that's authenticity. They can take the test at BeRealTest.com. That's BeRealTest.com.
Nice. So everyone, take advantage of that. It's free, and I mean, to even just be able to be offered having a free coaching session, I mean, why wouldn't you do it? So I want you to get out of your comfort zone and just go do it. Take the little test. It won't hurt. It's not like you're in grade school, no one's going to go, oh, I can't believe you scored that, Well, ladies did my speaker's assessment, little test thingy, and she just felt so embarrassed. And I'm like, why? It gives you the information that you need to know where you are. It has nothing to do with me.
It's for your information. Right? Self-knowledge is the best knowledge you can have. So when you know yourself well, everything else doesn't matter, because you can sail through anything if you know yourself, know how you react, know how to predict for yourself, and just understand yourself in a deeper level. And that's what we're all about with authenticity, and especially with speakers.
Love it. Love it. And of course, we want everyone to come to the conference to see Norma, get a hug from her, get a hug from me. I'm a hugger. So, and really build a relationship with us. We want to know you. And I know that you're sitting there going, oh, she doesn't want to. Yes, we do. So go to Public Speakers with an S, conference.com. You can click on the trainings tab, and it gives you all the information of all the amazing speakers like Norma and what they're going to be speaking on, even some little videos, to kind of see who they are in their personality. And I want to give you a special offer because I want you there. So if you put Tonya's TV show in the coupon code, you can get $100 off. And this event not only gives you the training, and believe me, each person, we're not recording it because every single person on stage usually charges between $500 and $5,000 for what they're training on stage. So we are definitely getting value. And so get your hand all exercised so that they don't cramp up, because this is going to be a game changer. And then we've got a free VIP ticket that you can get involved with, first 100 people, and we're getting close. So you want to jump in on this. You want to get that ticket because we have a blast. We drink margaritas and eat some Mexican food. It's so much fun. So be there June 14th through the 17th, San Antonio, Texas. We'll have fun in the sun. So enjoy, have a great time, and get there and start making a difference. We also have a bunch of people who will be there that will be booking speakers. Now, I know some of you are going, I'm not even close to ready. It's okay. You don't have to say yes. But those that are, we will have people there that are actually going to be interviewing you. We've got coaching sessions for people. We've got all kinds of things going on to bring value to you so that the rest of your life is pushing up and jetting up forward. So come, have fun, get connected, see Miss Norma and me in action.
Yes. I mean, let us see you. So we'd love to be able to work with you and know a little more about you and offer you some tips that maybe you didn't even know what to ask.
Perfect. All right, everyone. So we will see you on the show. Thank you, Norma, for being on. I want you to come on
Thank you, Tonya. It's been great.
All right, everyone. Bye.